As you continue to refine your writing and work with more complex sentences, you can also refine the punctuation that you use, and L2b Dashes will help you do that. The target for L2b Dashes asks, much like our L2a for common use, that you can correctly use dashes. At the 4 level, it will be seamless and enhance meaning. Again, you'll be using it to effect. You'll be using it to help enhance your writing and the meaning of your piece. At the 2 level, you're using dashes, but there are some errors, so some may be correct, some may not be. And at the 1 level, you attempted to use them, but it just wasn't correct. Now, to talk about what a dash is, we should also talk about what a hyphen is, and therefore what both are not. A dash is, on a physical level, a longer line between words, and you can see here that I've actually used 2 short lines. That will, on Word and most other writing programs, autocorrect to one long single line. A hyphen, on the other hand, is a short line between words. Here we can see that it is simply one of those lines. As far as meaning goes and how you might actually use the dash in your own writing, dashes are meant to connect non-essential clauses to a complete sentence, much as we talked about in L2a. Hyphens, on the other hand, connect parts of words cut by a line break or words which combine to make a new word. And here's the key for dashes. Dashes are used for emphasis. If you are not trying to draw attention to something, do not use a dash, because it's basically like shouting at your reader, hey, pay attention to this small piece of the sentence. Dashes are for emphasis. A couple of examples here. One for the dash first. Crisp, clear, colorful, dash. It was the perfect fall day. Here we're trying to draw attention to the description of the day, that it was crisp, clear, and colorful. We want that to stand out and be vivid in our reader's mind. As an example of a hyphen, the dog-friendly park was the place to be. We're taking 2 words, dog and friendly, and combining it to create a new adjective to describe the park as dog-friendly. A few more examples for you, and again, we want to use these dashes for emphasis. We've got to think about why they're being used here. The dog, dash, a giant Great Dane, dash, pulled his owner gleefully through the gate of the park. Now we might say we want to draw attention here because the fact that the dog is a Great Dane is what's allowing the dog to pull his owner through the gate of the park. You also want to note that if we're using this for an appositive, which is what we have here, the Great Dane is the noun describing the dog, we need 2, just as we would need 2 commas if that's what we were using to set this aside. Woof, dash. With one bark, the Dane silenced all the other dogs. So we're using an exclamative clause here, woof, to build the sensory details of the sentence. We can use a dash to help illustrate just how shocking it was. Woof would grab our attention just as it did all the other dogs. One by one, the other dogs lay down. Dash, the king of the park had arrived. And we're actually using the dash here in a slightly non-traditional way. We're using it to glue together 2 complete sentences, but again, to draw attention. The king of the park had arrived. We're really making this dog sound like he's a pretty big deal by calling him king, and we use dash to help illustrate that even more. Magnificent in every way, twice the size of all other dogs, his coat a rich sable color, dash. The Dane was truly master of them all. And here we use the dash to glue on some out-of-order adjectives to the beginning of the sentence. This is a non-essential element, helping describe the Dane and explain why he was just so very powerful. So we might say that's important, and we could use a dash there to help illustrate it. Now, if I were to write this all out as a paragraph, I would not use all of these dashes. If you're using a dash, I'd recommend no more than 1 per paragraph. Honestly, if you're going to use it to best effect, probably no more than 1 per page, because you really do want to use this for emphasis, and if you have a bunch of them, your reader isn't going to think it's important at all and will just begin to think that you're just throwing them in there all willy-nilly. So keep it limited to help it actually be effective in the way it was intended to be, but do use it to help draw attention to something important in your piece.